here with you. I think you owe it to this beautiful night to lose all your control. Do it for you. Let me shy, but I can put an end to your fears. Let me show you a place where you gon' wanna move your feet until they start to bleed. DJ, take it away. Tonight is all for you and me. So baby, spin and let the music begin.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the Stroke Talks podcast. I am Sybil. I'm your host here, as well as a stroke survivor myself. But today's episode is not about me. It is about my friend and fellow stroke survivor, Miss Stephanie. Now, she has not yet joined us. I am like, oh my gosh, where is she at? So while we are waiting on her to get logged in to share her stroke story and her journey, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about how we met. So I had a stroke in April of 2021, April 17th of 2021. My family was preparing to move to San Diego. My husband is a U.S. naval officer, and we had received orders to go to San Diego. He was leaving that May. I was leaving in June. Yeah, the mid-June with my daughters. We were at his party, at his farewell party, where I had a stroke. Completely off guard, caught us off guard. My stroke was not due to any health reasons. It was a rare cause known as carotid webbing. So fast forward, we eventually did leave Northern Virginia and move to San Diego. I wanted no part of San Diego at that time. I'm not going to lie. I did not want to go out. I didn't want to meet anyone. I'm like, nah. I was dealing with my own mess. I didn't realize I was dealing with mess. I was struggling with some things. Again, we're not talking about my story today. We're talking about Stephanie. So I was just struggling with my stroke and getting, the behind the scenes of recovery and all that stuff. But anywho, I did reach out. I'm checking my messages to make sure she's okay, because I did send her a text message like, hey girl, you good? What's going on? But I had posted, it was I forgot what the name of the group was, but it was a Facebook group in San Diego. Actually, it was Black in San Diego. I posted in that group because I was looking for a hairstylist. I needed to go get my hair done. So I'm like, hey, let me post to see if anyone has any recommendations. But as I was doing, making that post and asking the question about a hairstylist, I casually mentioned that I was a stroke survivor who had recently moved to San Diego. And Stephanie responded to me. Not only did she respond, she didn't respond about the hairstylist. She just responded, hello, I'm a fellow stroke survivor as well. Not only did she respond on that Facebook post in that group, she sent me a private message. Again, not gonna lie, at first I was like, I'm not gonna respond back to this private message, but I did. We chatted a few times, and then we decided to meet in person. We're like, okay, let's meet in person. I was still on restriction for driving. I had been released to drive about at least a mile radius at that point. So I was like, hey, I can't really drive far, but I can drive, about a mile from my home. I told her about the area that I live because she was a stranger. I was like, I ain't telling you exactly where I live, but I'll give you an idea. And we agreed to meet at a restaurant, in which, if you saw the photo of the promotion of this talk, that is one of the pictures we took at the restaurant. Y'all, we were trying to be, we were a little sassy. But we sat and talked for hours, in which we paid for days, both of us. Because I remember telling her, hey, yeah, I'll reach out to you, later today. It was great meeting you, chopping it up. Come on, Steph. Where you at, girl? I need Stephanie to also chime in on this story. Okay. So let me send her another message to make sure that she's not having any issues logging into StreamYard so she can get logged on. Hello. I'm reading the text message I'm sending her out loud. Hello. I am live. Ready for you. Okay. All right. So send her that message. Hopefully she'll respond, and hopefully she is trying to get logged in right now so she can come on screen and share her story. So I told her, I was like, yeah, I'll reach out to you later today. I did not. I was wiped out for like 2 or 3 days from us just sitting talking. I did not realize, I knew how I was feeling when I would try to talk to people, how I would try to engage with people. I was just really tired. And I would tell my family this, and I don't know, I felt like they thought I was making it up. But that day, after talking to Stephanie and let me back up. During our conversation during that lunch, that was only supposed to be like an hour, and we sat there for hours. It was such a relief and a release for me to talk to someone else who understood what I was going through. My family and friends, great. They would listen to me, but they couldn't relate. They couldn't fully relate on how I was feeling internally with the changes that I recognized in my life. They didn't recognize them, but I recognized the changes and the struggles. And so talking to Stephanie really just soothed my mind. It made me realize that it wasn't just in my head, that I wasn't making these things up, and that what I was feeling and dealing with was valid. Okay, so I'm rambling, y'all, because I'm like, I was not planning on talking today. This was going to be, today was Stephanie's story, y'all. Today was Stephanie's story. But so about 3 or 4 days later, we did reach out to each other again, and we had a good laugh. We had a good laugh about how tired we were from that conversation. Not only the conversation, but the drive. She did drive further than I did, but just driving, I didn't even drive a mile. It wore me out. So listen, if you are a stroke survivor, if you are a caregiver, if you are if you're a family member or friend and you have a stroke survivor in your life, and although they may look fine, right? Because looking at me, talking to me, you would never know that I had a stroke. I hear a slur when I speak. My tongue is extremely heavy. I do not have complete feeling to the left side of my body. But I realized that day, a lot of the things that I was dealing with, although they were invisible to other people, it weighed on me. The driving, like, come on, Sybil, you drove less than a mile. Why are you so tired from that? Oh, you sat and talked to someone for an hour. Why are you so tired from that? That is now my reality, and that may be the stroke survivor in your life's reality as well, right? You can have someone say, oh, because I still hear it to this day. It'll be 5 years on April 17th, 2026 that I've had my stroke. And, we just traveled here recently. Okay, people, traveling, yeah. You travel, everyone gets tired when they travel. Nah, man, not like this. Like, it's a whole different type of tired. And I want people to understand that. And that's also why I started Stroke Talks. I started Stroke Talks to share not only my story and my journey, but fellow stroke survivors' story and journey. Okay, and with Miss Stephanie, again, let me check my messages to make sure. When I met Stephanie, she had not had 11 strokes when we met, but she had had many strokes at that time. Many as in a lot of strokes. And I recall sitting at that table as she was sharing with me, I was like, Steph, I didn't call her Steph that day. I called her Stephanie. I still have never called her Steph, like to her. And we text and communicate on Facebook. But in my head, and actually today I was going to try. I was going to be like, "Hey Steph," and see how she responded, right? Because you just don't be changing. You don't shorten people's names without permission, right? Like my name is Sybil. Don't call me Sid. If we ain't cool like that, why are you calling me Sid? But I was going to try it today with Stephanie. I was going to, but I remember sitting there at lunch thinking, hey, Steph, have they determined the cause of your strokes? What are they doing? What they being your doctors, your medical team? Like what's going on? And like I said, we've remained in touch over the years. We moved from San Diego. We moved to Bahrain. My husband is Navy. He's a naval officer. So we packed up, moved to Bahrain. And hold on. Yeah, I'm checking my messages everywhere to make sure she hasn't sent me a message. But I hadn't heard from her in a while. And so I reached out to her. I was like, "Hey, Stephanie, how you doing?" And she sent me a picture from the hospital. And I knew when she sent me the picture, I knew exactly where she was because you saw the wall and you saw this board. I'm like, "Hey, you good?" And she's like, "I've had another stroke." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" So I'm like, "Are you all right?" And I'm not going to tell her story. I want her to tell her story. And if we're unable to get her on today to share her story, I will do another episode with her for her to share her story. But I just recall, like, "Okay, are you all right?" Then she's like, "Yes, I'm fine." Because y'all, this is one thing I will say about Stephanie. And it used to make me mad. Actually, it still makes me mad a little bit. I'm like, "Steph, girl, you can reach out to me. Like, let me know. Are you okay? Like, come on. Like, you do not have to take this road alone." And I know she doesn't. I know she has amazing family and friends where she is. But I'm like, hey, from a fellow stroke survivor to a fellow stroke survivor, like reach out. Let me know if you're okay. And I say this to all stroke survivors. And I know many times and I get it. We feel alone. Hey, yo, folks, for everyone watching this right now, be sure to like, comment, because when you like and comment, when you engage with me, although I'm over here like, it does help tickle that algorithm and help spread Stroke Talks to others and helps this page grow. All right, so either you're watching this on my Stroke Talks page, on my Stroke Talks YouTube channel, or on my Mamas and Coffee page. And Stroke Talks is under my Mamas and Coffee umbrella. All right, so if you're watching it from Mamas and Coffee and you're like, "What is she talking about?" I am the owner of Mamas and Coffee, and Stroke Talks is now a community within Mamas and Coffee. So, but anywho, if you are a stroke survivor, and it can be lonely, don't think that you have to do any of it alone, because you don't. You do not have to do any of it alone. I'm dropping my newsletter URL here. Go ahead, subscribe to this newsletter. It's my Stroke Talks newsletter, and I provide information, a little bit of encouragement, few little quick facts about stroke, information about our episodes, our upcoming episodes, and recaps of the episodes, as well as our events. So with Stroke Talks, I am doing virtual and in-person events for stroke survivors, family, friends, whomever wants to talk about stroke, like real conversations about stroke, to join me. All right. So all of that information goes out to my newsletter subscribers first, and then it goes out to my Stroke Talks social media accounts. But the newsletter folks get first dibs registration, because I try to keep the virtual meetups small, so they're intimate and everyone has an opportunity to talk. They are hosted via Zoom. Registration is required, but it is an opportunity for us to talk, support one another. I am also going to start in March one-on-one conversations, right? So you can sign up. Again, it's via Zoom. You can sit down with me. I'm not a therapist. It's no medical advice, but it's just peer-to-peer support to talk about stroke. I focus a lot on carotid webbing because my stroke was due to a rare cause known as carotid webbing. Again, no health issues, no health concerns. Let me show you this, because I carry it in my backpack. I do. My backpack is always beside my desk. This is what saved my life. This is a stent. My stroke due to carotid webbing, which is basically it's a rare cause that is presents itself highly in African American women, healthy African American women. I was 43 when I had my stroke. No stress, living my best life. Blood pressure, perfect. Cholesterol, perfect. Nothing. No health concerns, nothing. And we were at a party. I was talking because that's what I do. And the people I was talking to, because me and my husband were at different tables, noticed that my speech began to slur. They got my husband's attention. He noticed that I had a full facial droop. Yes, I had the full facial left side of my face droop. And then he was like, I just face first into the table, unconscious. Called 911, got me to the hospital. Ambulance came, got me to the hospital. They administered the TPA, which did not take. So they transferred me to another hospital where they went in through my groin up. Now they had did the CTs, MRIs, all of that. They knew that it was a stroke. They talked to my husband for a week. They discussed what that cause was. And that's where they found or decided that, or argued, because the surgeon, he said that he pleaded his case for a week. I was in ICU, the stroke unit, that it was carotid webbing. My husband agreed for them to go ahead, do the procedure. So they placed this little bad boy. That was my long-winded way of getting to my point, here in my right carotid artery. So this stent is here in my right carotid artery. It keeps everything flush and keeps the blood smooth, flowing smoothly to the brain. They did have to go in and move a blood clot from the brain. And I do have the MRIs of my brain. When I first arrived at the hospital, the scans of when I first arrived at the hospital, no blood flow, to after the clot was removed where there was blood flow. So anywho, my point being, I'm rambling, y'all. I'm rambling. Oh, thank you, Christina. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you. All right, so Steph cannot make it with us today, but that's okay. That is okay. Thank you so much, Christina. And let Stephanie know, again, I'm calling her Steph. She's going to get me for calling her Steph. But let Stephanie know that that is all right, that I'm hoping she's okay, and we can reschedule for another time. And hey, at Stroke Talks, and this is something else I want everyone to know and understand, here at Stroke Talks, I do all of my interviews live. When I have guests who want to come on, I give them the option of doing a live interview, or they can do a pre-recorded interview themselves. Like they share their stroke story and then I will publish it here, or they can write a blog post. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do have some editors that will help with the basic grammatical errors, but I do this live because I want people to see, we can all, like everything I do, even at Mamas and Coffee, everything I do is live because we can all show up. Oh, she's having some technical issues. That's okay. That's fine. No, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Technical. Hey, look. Okay, I'm about to make a joke. I'm about to make a joke. I'm gonna make a joke that I'm sure Stephanie. Okay. Okay. All right, people. So my very first episode, which aired 2 weeks ago, I had my first stroke survivor friend, Strokey. We call each other Strokies. He's from Australia, Fred. And he would say, oh, we have technical issues all the time. The brain just be having some technical issues all the time. So I was going to crack, that was my stroke joke. Yo, I crack jokes about myself all the time. All the time. I do so to keep from crying, to keep from losing my freaking mind, right? Now, remember, I told you I don't have complete feeling to the left side of my body. That means the entire left, this is TMI, but we're going to talk about it. That's the entire left side of my body, y'all. Straight down the middle, left side of my body. So I'd be like, all right. I remember the first time going, well, not the first time, but one of my neurology appointments. And I was like, hey, I don't have feelings to the left side of my body. Like what's going on? And folks, that's also why I do the small virtual stroke talk meetups. I come with the topic and everyone gets to freely speak, not freely speak because, we'd be in there talking all day, but everyone has an opportunity to talk. Why? Because I'm in different Facebook groups. Stroke Talks also has a Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group. If you would like to join it, you are more than welcome to do it. It's facebook.com/groups/Stroke Talks with Sybil, because Stroke Talks was taken, so Stroke Talks with Sybil. But some of the questions I see are very personal questions. But the reality is that part of your life changes too. It doesn't end, but there are things that changes with, extracurricular activities as adults. That's all I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to put it. But we are going to have a virtual meetup about that because we need to discuss it. We need to discuss it. I see people asking questions. I went to my neurology appointment and I asked. I was like, "Hey, Doc, this is awkward for me to ask, but something." But one of the other reasons I laugh at myself, I talk about my left side, is I used to wear heels all the time, but I don't have feeling to the left side. My foot, I do not feel the ground when I walk. So they took my heels. And I remember going to physical therapy, and one of the things they were like, what are you working toward? I was like, getting back in my heels. And the therapist looked at me like I was a little crazy, right? And I said, yeah, that's one of my goals. And probably about the 5th time that I wore heels again, we were walking and I stumbled. And my husband, tried to catch me. And y'all, it wasn't that normal stumble, right? You wear heels, you kind of trip up sometimes, but you get your strut back, you good. It wasn't that type of stumble. It was because I literally could not feel my left side of my body. I could not feel my leg. I couldn't feel the ground. And so I had gotten to the point where mentally I was like, Sybil, left foot is touching, left foot is touching, left foot is to the ground. You're good, you're good, you're good. And then I got a little too confident. And I stopped focusing on my walk. And started talking, running my mouth, and was not concentrating on the fact that I couldn't feel, that my foot couldn't feel the ground. And so I stumbled. Again, not because I was being clumsy, but because I literally could not feel the ground. And that hurt. That hurt. So I share that story to say, if you have a stroke survivor, a stroke warrior, I say stroke warrior in your life, and there's little things to you, they're small things to you, or if they're frustrated because they're tripping or frustrated because they're dropping things, the comment, oh, we all drop something. Oh, we're all a little clumsy. Nah, it's different. It's something really different. It hits differently when you know that your reason of dropping it or tripping is because you have no feeling, or you have this weakness, like I don't, my feeling is not as strong as it was, or as it was normally. But my left side is extremely weak as well. But people like, Sybil, you use your left side all the time. I do. And sometimes I exaggerate using it because I'm like, Sybil, you got to do it. But I don't always feel. I don't feel things in my left hand or on the left side of my body at all. I have, and I used to do it. I don't do it anymore, but I used to be like, oh, you know what? I got a trick for y'all. I would pick up a hot plate, a hot skillet, because I'm like, I don't feel it, but you can still be burned. So don't do it. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean that you still cannot be burned. But yeah, anywho, so I am just rambling right now, but Miss Stephanie, we will reschedule to have her come on and share her story with us. There's bits of her story that I do know, but I don't want to share her story. It's her story to share. But Stephanie, I love you. You have been an amazing friend to me, an amazing supporter to me through this. We met. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna meet this lady. Stranger danger. And I was also thinking, okay, let me just close with this. I remember thinking, Stephanie, I'm like, what if she really isn't who she says she is? Then I was like, but what if she is? And then we're both just there, like trying to get our words and thoughts together. Like we're both just sitting there like, yeah, which I think we did have those moments. I'm a rambler regardless, but it's all good. Well, so Pamela, I will say the left side. So if a stroke hits the right side of your body, it affects the left side. So whatever side the brain, whatever side of the brain that the stroke happens on, it affects the opposite side, right? So my stroke happened to the right side of my brain. It affects the left side of the body and vice versa. Studies have shown that the most, I don't want to say the most common, but most strokes do happen. They happen to the right side of your brain and affects the left side. I don't really know why that's the case, but studies do show that the majority happen to the right side of the brain, affects the left side of the body. And there's different reasons that some people are left paralyzed. It could be the part of the brain that the stroke hits. It could be the response time. It is extremely important. So you have the acronym BFAST: balance, check someone's balance, their eyes, face, facial droop, arms. Can you lift your arms? Drift. S speech, T time. It is so important to respond quickly when even if you think someone is having a stroke, call 911. Like run through those acronyms to be fast, quickly. Right? Like if you see someone with the facial droop, oh, yeah, let's call 911 and tell the 911 operator that you think someone is having a stroke or that they're having a stroke, because they're going to dispatch the EMTs and they're also letting them know which hospital to go to, because every hospital is not equipped to handle stroke, and depending on the severity of the stroke, right? So my stroke, just example, my stroke happened here in Northern Virginia, where one of 113 at the time, 113, I believe, if I'm correct, because I have an article on my website. If you go to Stroke Talks, here, I'll put this in here. If you go to stroketalks.com, the hospital did a story on me. So if you go to this, I'm going to drop the link here for you, and go to the ANOVA link. They do talk about their stroke comprehension see like blank their stroke comprehension center being one of the 113 in the US. So it's like the equipment, do they have the equipment there? My stroke is carotid webbing, and I will say this, even going with us moving, right, military, and we move, going to different doctors, and they look at my record, they're confused, number one, at my medical record. And then when I tell them, oh yeah, it was carotid webbing, they've looked at me confused of what to do. Like, what is that? Because there's still a lot of controversy around how to actually treat carotid webbing, what to do with it, how do you manage it. So that's that. The person's age matters, the cause of like their health. There's a lot that goes into the outcome of a stroke survivor. And those are questions that we will dig deeper into for our virtual meetups and the in-person meetups. The in-person meetups right now are only hosted in the Northern Virginia area. I do hope to take this across the US. I want to stroke awareness and just really having honest, open conversations about stroke has become a purpose for me, right? Like you never know. I remember actually in 2020 praying, asking God, Lord, what is my purpose in life? Like what am I supposed to be doing? Right? And then I'm like, oh snap, I was smacked upside the head in 2021. And I try to run from it. I was like, I'm not going to talk about stroke. I talked about it for a little bit, and then I decided I didn't want to talk about it anymore. And hold on, let me get Christina's comment, and then I'm gonna come back to me talking about it and not wanting to talk about it, and it now being a purpose of mine. Oh, so Christina, I don't want to tell your business about where you went to college. Actually, Christina, I will say this. Back in the day, when I was in, because we're the same age, I was like, I want to go to California to school. I did not. See, look, we could have met in college back in the day. But I don't know if Stephanie would have liked me back then. She may not have liked me back then. But yeah, she is an awesome person. An awesome person. She gets me straight. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, she about to get me. She about to get me straight. I keep threatening to send my dog to her. My little dog Tiana. I'm like, Stephanie, I'm gonna send Tiana to you. You can have her. She's like, no, nobody wants Tiana. but me. But talking about me making this my purpose. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. So after my stroke, I started talking about it. And I allowed people to get in my head because I would show up online and talk, and I was emotional. I still do get emotional talking about it. And it was like, why are you so emotional? Well, because if you knew, what the outcome could have been, you would be emotional too. And it was also, this is my story. No, I'm not going to sit here and record it and edit it and only show you the happy parts. You need to understand the full journey. Like, understand a stroke survivor's full journey. What was their lifestyle like before their stroke? Their lifestyle when, now that they've had a stroke, what does that recovery look like? I remember thinking, the doctor telling my husband, and my husband talked to me like, okay, you've recovered. But I missed the part about the mental and the emotional side of the recovery. The recovery part that I was good and I could leave the hospital was the blood clot was successfully removed. Everything, my speech was restored. I had movement, all that stuff was fine. But I also talk a lot about the mental recovery of stroke. Those hidden scars of stroke, those hidden challenges that no one other than the person dealing with it sees every day. Again, people laugh because they're like, Sybil, you talk all the time. There was a moment, a long period of time that I did not want to leave my house. I wasn't afraid to leave my house. I wasn't actually actively thinking that, oh, I'm going to leave my house and be out in public and have a stroke. No, I was not actively thinking that. But I think my subconscious may have been thinking it. But I was terrified of talking to people. I was afraid of how I sounded to people. I was afraid of how I behaved around people, right? Because you don't have feeling to the left side of your body. You know that you dropping stuff all the time. Okay, you're out in public at the store. You look fine, right? Because to look at me and to talk to me, I listen to myself talk all the time. So I'm like, I don't have a slur. I'm perfectly fine. You wouldn't think, oh, she's had a stroke. Oh, you would, why is this lady over here dropping stuff? What is she doing? So I was extremely self-conscious of how I sounded, if I was going to just be a nuisance to everybody. I also recall one of my first outings after my stroke. It was, for my occupational therapy, it was to go grocery shopping. I went grocery shopping with my family. Me and my husband, and my youngest daughter went because she was afraid. She was afraid I would get lost in the grocery store. Had my grocery list. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I want to go check out by myself. So I went to the counter. But y'all, I got to the counter and I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. Literally, just didn't know what to do. There were parts of my life that was everyday normal living that at 43, I didn't know how to do. And there is a period of time that I cannot recall that happened the night of my stroke. But once I started getting back into to life, there were things, just simple tasks that I didn't know how to do. One of the men, I didn't know how to check out of the grocery store, even organizing myself, right? Like I I was so frustrated with my OT because she told me, "Oh, hello, Kelly, I am not Stephanie. Stephanie is going to be joining us another time. She was having some technical difficulties getting logged on. So she's going to come back on and join us for another talk. I am Sybil. I'm the host of Stroke Talks, and I'm just rambling. Kelly, let me know, are you a stroke survivor as well? Because if you are, I would love to have you join me for an episode and share your story. But I just remember there being parts of my life that as a 43-year-old woman, I should know how to do. And those things bothered me, really bothered me. Oh, I know what I was saying. So one of the things with my OT, and my husband went to every appointment because he had to drive me to every appointment. And we were talking about my calendar. I always had a paper calendar, but I didn't write in it. I just used electronic calendar. But I could not function that way anymore. And I remember arguing with my occupational therapist that no, I didn't want to use a paper calendar. I was like, I have one, but I don't use it. And so she walked me through how to organize my life again. Again, I'm 43 years old at that time, right? I was 43. I'm 48 now. I was 43. I don't need you to tell me how to keep my life organized. Like, what are we doing? That hurt, y'all. I cried. I fought with her because no. And then I was an emotional disaster. And I still am. I will admit. My family, my kids have told me, like, I've always been a yeller. That's just me as a parent, but they're like, we don't know. We feel like we always have to walk on eggshells with you. So after a stroke, yes, your stroke warrior in your life could have issues with regulating their emotions. Those are things that are not talked about. But for Addie, for your question about can low blood pressure cause a stroke? So I looked it up because I have my thoughts on it. And it is something that I have talked about before, as well as written about on the blog before. Low blood pressure, yes, it can cause a stroke. It's a little different. It affects it a little differently. But most strokes, the cause is high blood pressure. But you know what? We can talk about this low blood pressure and what I may try to do. And most of the time, and what I'm focused on is bringing stroke survivors on to share their stories, not necessarily the medical advice, but later down the road, I will try to have a guest come on that has a doctor, and be able to provide the medical information. But this is something that I have written about that is on the website, stroketalks.com. So you can check that out there. But most causes when it comes to blood pressure and stroke, it is high blood pressure. And everybody, if you have high blood pressure, do what the doctor tells you to do, please, please, please. But high blood pressure, high cholesterol, that's not the only causes of stroke. Stress. Maintain your stress levels. There's a whole list. And one of the other things that I am focusing on here at Stroke Talks is those rare causes. Have you heard of dissection? I had never heard of that. I met a lady from Australia, young, healthy. She had a stroke due to an arterial dissection. These are things that you don't think about. Right? But now, Kelly, you good? You good? But yes, I am going to have Miss Stephanie on again. I'm gonna stop rambling. I was like, okay, I am here to talk about Steph's story today. But I'm always, I always have something to say. I can always come up with something. But just remember, Stroke Talks, we bring real conversations. They're live, they're real, unscripted, because life is unscripted. That's life. So I don't do any of these as a pre-recorded segment unless my guest wants to pre-record, and that is them pre-recording, a 5-minute, 2 to 5 minute video sharing about their stroke, and then I reshare it. But for the interview format, it's always raw, because I feel that's the best way to get someone's real, honest story. But again, folks, make sure you connect with me on all of my social media platforms. Like and follow, subscribe. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh,
I know. I'm fired. My first job with this, I'm gonna get fired. I'm never gonna be asked to do anything with you ever again. I know I'm fired. As technical difficulties, I'll leave. I know. You would have sex with all that before, but I know. Oh my gosh. I know. This is like a mess. Like, my phone charger wasn't working, my computer password wasn't working, and so I finally got a workaround. So thank God for that, and thanks for your grace. Because I'm like stressing out, but I'm like, I know Sybil's gonna just talk and fill the time.
So no, you can't. Wait a minute. No, time out. See, look, you were good until you said, I know Sybil going to talk. No.
I'm like, Sybil's gonna have it all straightened out.
No, I did not, because I was like, now, Stephanie,
I know.
You have talked to me enough, and you have seen my videos enough that I just be like, y'all, we just rolling with it. I have no questions.
Yeah, so that's why we just rolling with it.
But Stephanie, girl, how you do?
I know. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for everyone who tuned in for yeah, it was just a disaster on my part. Yeah. So now you see what a stroke survivor trying to like deal with technology and all this kind of thing. So I know this is my last time. Sybil's gonna invite me on, but you're getting a real inside scoop. And I want to thank my friends. I want to thank Christina for calling me. My phone battery had died, and look, I need a new charger and all that rigmarole. So,
but you're here. You here. That's all that matters, girl.
I
That's all that
I I'll have
matters.
to
So,
rewatch it so I can see all that you talked about.
girl, look, no, I was just rambling. That's what I was doing. I was like,
That's good. Around was good.
I was like, well,
Around was good. Keep me entertained.
but Stephanie, go ahead, girlfriend. Okay, can I call you Steph?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
because
can
I
call
was
something that.
I was talking about that. I was like, I don't know if I can call her Steph. I'm like, but oh,
Call me. All my friends call me Seth.
okay. So
So,
introduce yourself.
my name is Stephanie Capel. I actually am 50 years old. I turned 50 in December. I am a 11-time stroke survivor. I had brain surgery last year. It's almost healed. The stitching, where the stitches were at. And let me see. My first stroke was in May of 2020. So it's kind of wild. It's at the beginning of the pandemic. So it's kind of wild being in the hospital during the pandemic, but not having the pandemic, not having COVID. So, yeah. So, my second of 2020, my third stroke, was in March of 2021. My second stroke was in June. No, my third stroke was in April 2021. My fourth stroke was in, let me see, June of 2021. My sixth stroke was in well, fifth or sixth. Well, anyway, I had a stroke in October 2021. Then 2022, I didn't have a stroke. Then 2023, I had two strokes. In 2024, last year, I had a brain bleed, the hemorrhagic stroke. And then what Jamie Foxx had to put it in perspective. And then I'm just recovering from that. I had an infection, internal infection, also like last year. So it's just like I've had a challenging past couple of years, or 6 years, to put it mildly.
Yes. Now, Stephanie,
Yes.
you said that you had a brain bleed in 23,
No, 24 last year.
24. Okay. Now, can I address this on a personal note with you?
Yes, you can.
You told me that I can go back through the messages.
Uh-huh.
You were in the hospital. You had a
All
stroke,
right.
but you tell me that you had a hemorrhagic stroke in
Right.
23. You
That's
didn't, yeah,
like,
you didn't say that.
so, oh, whoops. Busted. I kind of use the terms interchangeably, but yes, it was a hemorrhagic stroke.
Now, may I ask this question too? And because I did not, folks watching, I do not give any questions ahead of time. We free flow. Now, now when you had your first stroke in 2020,
I had
what
the
was
first stroke, it was like, okay, I'll give the context. I was sick for like about 4 or 5 days. Like I was lethargic, didn't have an appetite, and I was like
Where did she go? We lost her. Oh, I think we lost her. Let's see if we get her back. You know what? Technology is great, but technology can also be a slight little pain. Let's see if we can get her back in here. Think we lost her on her end. So Stephanie did say she was having some technical difficulties. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give her a few minutes to see if we can get her back. And then if not, we will have her come back and do another live with us. And I will also ask Miss Stephanie if she would be willing to have this conversation for an upcoming virtual event, which it will take place via Zoom, where everyone could ask her questions directly themselves. You don't have to put in the comments. You can raise your little virtual hand, and we'll open your mic so you can talk directly with her. So we've had a timeline starting her first stroke in 2020 until now. So one of the questions that I had for Stephanie when I first met her, and that I have asked her several times through our messages, is, hey, have they determined the cause of your strokes? All right, so I do not think we're going to get her back. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for watching and tuning in today. I will have Stephanie back. Steph, she gave me permission to call her Steph. I will have Steph back to share her story with us. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like this live. It will also be published on our website for you to come back and watch it anytime you want, as well as on YouTube. It will always be here online for you to come back in and watch. And I look forward to meeting everyone soon. Have a wonderful, blessed day. And remember to know you, be you, love you. That's the little slogan. Mom Jones, know you, be you, love you. And we will
Can you
chat.
hear me?
Oh, she's back. See, look, I was rambling again.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
All right. Okay, see, technical difficulties. So, like, what happened? So where's that? So yeah, so like I'm in my I had the hemorrhagic stroke, brain bleed. I had a headache. Like it wasn't the worst headache of my life, but it was pretty bad. I mean, like I just was like and then I told the nurses here, and the nurses here had me go to ER. They like called the ambulance for me. Then I'm in a small town right now, so then I had to get lighted to a bigger town or a bigger city to get the MRI and the full workup, and that's when I got surgery.
Now, Steph, you said something. Hold on. I am trying to get this back.
I could not hear you. What is going on? Sorry, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I don't know what's going on here.
Okay. So we're having some
see.
Can you hear me now?
Why is it not?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
This is bizarre. Okay.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to reschedule Stephanie to come back on another day so we can have this conversation with no technical difficulties. It's all good. This is real life stroke talks. This is real life right here. All right, so we're going to reschedule this and I will publish another broadcast and we will get this taken care of. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Talk to you soon. And I'm going to call Stephanie after this. All right. Bye. Thanks for watching. Oh, what is going on?
Do you want me to speak? Yeah, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to speak? Do you have any questions? Or people, I guess, can type questions in the chat. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I guess we're done. Sorry, everyone. I don't know if we'll try this again or not. But thank you, everyone, for coming out and supporting. And I hope we get to do this soon in some format. Thanks again. Bye.